Pierre Poilievre just stunned an aggressive liberal journalist into complete silence. The day before this exchange, a car coming from the US sped and exploded into the Canadian border at Niagara Falls, killing both occupants of the vehicle but nobody else. At first, Fox News reported this was an act of terrorism, and the car was carrying an IED.
Essentially, this is what it was, which is a vehicle IED. At least is what we're reporting that this car was laden with.
Even the Canadian government was operating under the assumption that this was terror-related, with Trudeau saying this in the House of Commons.
There are 4 border crossings that are right now closed. Additional measures are being contemplated and activated at all border crossings across the country. We are taking this extraordinarily seriously.
But as the day progressed, it became more clear that this was in fact not an act of terrorism and was actually just a reckless driver. Which leads us to the next day.
Hi, Paula Larigio with the Canadian Press. Do you think it was responsible for you to call yesterday's explosion by the checkpoint at the Rainbow Bridge terrorism when no US or Canadian officials said that was or authorities said that was the case, and when the New York governor also said there was no evidence to suggest terrorism activity?
Actually, you're wrong. You're a CP? Okay, so CP, by the way, CP, just for everyone's knowledge, did have to make 3 corrections for falsehoods that they put into a single article. I think that might be unprecedented. I'm actually thinking about checking with the Guinness Book of World Records to see if there's ever been a news agency that has had to issue 3 corrections for patent falsehoods that they admit they had been made in one single article, and now you've made yet another falsehood in your question. Where you are wrong is that CTV reported that the government of Canada was presuming that the incident was terrorist. So, yeah, that's what I said in my remarks. You're right. It was a media report.
But it's citing media reports and not...
Which is what I said. In the House, I said there are media reports.
And you think that's a responsible thing to go on? That statement at the time?
What kind of statement?
Calling something terrorism.
I didn't. I said there were media reports. No, there's no distinction. What I said, and I was right, was that there were media reports of a terror-related event. By your admission, there were media reports of a terror-related event. And that media report, according to CTV, unless you're questioning their integrity now, came from security officials in the Trudeau government. So do you think the CTV was irresponsible in putting out that tweet? Sorry, I'm asking, I have already answered that. Do you think CTV was irresponsible to put that tweet out? Well, you just did comment. Okay, so I just hope you're not going to print something that you have to apologize for again.
Okay. Now, this wasn't the first time journalists have attacked Pierre over nothing, and it certainly won't be the last. But this guy is an unstoppable machine who can always flip aggressive questions right back in the faces of lying journalists. To see more examples of this, watch the top 10 best Pierre Poilievre moments.